why improvement projects fail. Okay, let me go. There are several reasons projects can become a failure. The first reason, top management support. And Stephen Covey was telling, make it win-win. How can I make it win-win? If my goals are obtained, I will smile. Am I making my boss also to smile? Is that my smile triggers the smile in my boss face? Is that my super boss is also can smile because I achieved my goal? This is called goal alignment in Six Sigma. How can you ensure your projects are in perfect alignment with the organization strategy? If you identify projects using the tools called voice of the customer, voice of the business, cost of the poor quality, for sure you are assured that your project goals will be in perfect alignment with the organization strategy. That means you will be able to get the top management support, without which really no project can progress and become a successful one. That is one main reason. Whenever the project goals are not in perfect alignment with the organization strategic goals, and none of them, management would like to support your project, and then it will get interrupted, and you may not get resources on time, and you may not, be allocated the facilities, because of which your project will fail. Don't do that. Always make sure your smile makes your boss to smile, right? Make it win-win. And next reason why projects fail, using inappropriate tools and techniques. What do I mean by inappropriate tools and techniques? While solving a problem, you have to use the appropriate tools and techniques. I did a mistake once. I took a small screwdriver and some cutting plier, which I had in my house, no, because I wanted to tighten the case of my laptop. But with the kind of tools I had in my house, you know what happened? I ended up breaking the case completely. And then people said I have to replace it, with a new one. This is what can happen in your project also. When you really don't expose yourself, equip yourself with appropriate quality control tools, with appropriate statistical tools and techniques. See, please understand, projects are nothing but quality improvement. Often we get confused with the term projects. Projects are nothing but we are solving problems. Solving problem in the sense we are trying to improve the quality, because we are working on customers' problem. We are working on business problem. When those problems are solved, quality will improve, isn't it? So you will have to use the correct tools and techniques. If you use the tools wrongly, you will wrongly understand the problem. If you wrongly understand the problem, you will handle the problem wrongly. Your focus will be diverted in a wrong direction. You will end up in a wrong destination, wasting your time, your resources, and organization's resources. Please don't do that. Always be a good, effective person who will always deal with the problems with the most appropriate tools and techniques. Particularly when I say tools, it means statistical tools and techniques. You know why statistical tools are needed? Statistics means what? Dealing with the data and then drawing conclusion using the data. People use fancy terms like data mining, artificial intelligence, and all those things. What all these things are basically? These are basically working with the data. You know how things are working today? Everything is automated. Now wherever I go, I am getting an advertisement repeatedly coming on to me. How the same advertisement comes to me, continuously for 10 days or even months together until I make a purchase. These are artificial intelligence. How it works? Based on certain data. So taking decisions based on data is nothing but statistics, without which you really cannot do anything in real time. So you have to empower yourself, by learning lot of statistical tools and techniques. Your ANOVA is a statistical tool. Your Z-test is a statistical tool. T-test is a statistical tool. There are several n number of tools. Do you really know which tool should be used in a particular scenario? Even some of the experts who claim to be an experts in Six Sigma, they misuse the tools and they wrongly pick up the tools and then try to solve a problem, right? Can you tighten a nut with the wrong spanner in hand? If you do it, what will happen? You are no, you are spoiling yourself as well as the organization's resources. Don't do that. You should be really good in statistical tools and quality control tools and techniques. If you are not exposed so far, please consider equipping you properly at least now. We are training participants right from student till a senior manager in the company. Even in the retirement age, people come and learn Six Sigma because no one has told them. And you are fortunate enough that you could understand from us. These are very important for your career growth. And third reason why projects fail: uncertainty in measurement. What is this uncertainty? The error, right? The measurement error. Sometimes for reasons we measure wrongly. See, for example, doing a project and solving a customer problem is something like driving a car. When you want to drive a car, as well as you want to drive faster, you want to reach the destination on time, it is very important you continuously see the road and then drive the car. If you are not looking at the road and you are changing your focus on the other sides, what will happen? You will be derailed from the road, and then you will not reach the destination. You will reach somewhere else. This is another big reason projects fail. How important it is to continuously see the road and drive. Same is the importance you should give to continuously see the problem while solving it. When you are not able to see the problem, but you try to solve it, you will not reach the destination. Can you shoot a target in the dark? It's impossible. Now, please think for yourself. If you measure wrongly, will you be able to understand the problem? Is it not something like trying to shoot the target in a dark? Is it not without seeing the road you are trying to drive the car? Definitely you are creating a same scenario. Whenever you collect data, make sure you collect the data correctly. If I want to understand the buying pattern of people in Chennai, I must collect data from Chennai. There is no point me collecting data from Bangalore and trying to predict the buying behavior of the people in Chennai. With the wrong data, I will go wrong data, and then measuring wrongly. Always when you measure, error happens. Right now I can prove it. If all of you measure something, even though you are an expert in making the measuring certain thing, I can tell you you are measuring wrongly. There are two things important with respect to uncertainty. One is accuracy, another thing is precision. What is accuracy? How close your readings are with respect to the true value. What is precision? How consistent you are in measuring something. And both the things can easily go wrong in any measurement, and any number will come with the error. See, in IPL game and many games, the umpires are even making mistakes. The batsman is actually not out. Ball has not touched the bat, but umpire has given him out. What is this called? This is called measurement error. Measurement error will make you to decide wrongly. An umpire, his job is only to watch the each and every ball and give the decision. His decision goes wrong because he measured wrongly. Same way your decision can go wrong. So that shouldn't be the case. It's very important you measure the measurement error. We teach you to measure the measurement error and bring down the measurement error less than 10%. This is a standard to be followed. The standard is set by an organization called AIAG, Automotive Industry Action Group, and their guidelines are followed globally. And so we will have to make sure whatever project you are doing, we have an appropriate measurement system which can measure within 10% of the measurement error. Otherwise, you can easily go wrong and your project will fail. And fourth important reason, methodology. That's where the Six Sigma comes, because Six Sigma gives you a methodology called DMAC, a 5-phase methodology. Define the problem, measure the problem, analyze the problem for the root cause, improve the process, control the process. DMAC. D stands for define, M stands for measure, A stands for analyze, I stands for improve, and C stands for control. If you really don't follow a methodology, team members will not understand what is that you are doing. Hey, what is this fellow will do today? And what will he ask us to do tomorrow? Things are not clear. So you need to be methodical when you are working in a team. Let us consider the current scenario, the COVID-19. The last several 6 to 12 months, we all struggled because of the COVID spreading. And during that scenario, if someone got tested positive for COVID-19, you know what we all did? We all recommended the person to get admitted in the hospital. You know why we did that? We all know COVID-19 is a big problem for the entire humanity, and no solution that point of time, no vaccine, nothing. But then also, we recommended the patients to get admitted in the hospital. Why? Since there is no solution, why should they go to hospital? Because we strongly believed that doctors could treat them methodically, which you and me cannot do. So being methodical is very important in any profession. If the methodology could save life in real time, the same methodology can lead your project to a success. Please be methodical when you are doing any project. There are several methodologies available, and the Six Sigma methodology is the superior methodology, right? Success rate is very, very high. Please learn that and then use that, practice that, so that you can improve and then your organization can improve. Another reason why projects fail: inadequate process knowledge. Process knowledge is very important. Please, ladies and gentlemen, please understand. Every organization is nothing but collection of n number of processes. The processes produce results. If you don't agree with me, no, sir, results comes from heaven. Processes are not producing the result. Then you are not a professional at all. You are a magician, right? And it's very important we understand processes produce results. So when you are hired as a consultant for any company, you must have some fair idea about the kind of processes they are running. Suppose, let's say, an university hires you as an officer there, right? Maybe as a placement officer, or maybe as a consultant there, so that they get a lot of students, so that their academic performance improve, and they want to improve. Of course, every organization would like to improve, and they hired you. And now, is it not important you understand the kind of processes they follow? What are the processes typically an university setup will have? Teaching is a process. I'm teaching you, it's a process. We need to understand, we need to accept. The quality of this teaching process depends on the quality of the slides, quality of the preparations I have done, quality of the participants who participate in the training, the quality of interaction we are going to do. All these things are only responsible for the quality of the session. Everything in this world is a process, right? So process knowledge is absolutely important, right? For a university setup, teaching is a process, learning is another process, assessment is another process, admission is another process, and then industry interaction. Everything is a process. Same way, consider a foundry industry where metal is melt. That's a melting is a process, and then it is poured into a die, and then allowed to cool, and then you take it out and then do the heat treatment. Everything is a process. Finally, you get a product. Everything is a process. And I'm not telling that you need to be an expert in everything. No. As a Six Sigma expert, you should be able to respect that process knowledge is very, very essential for the success of any project. Always prefer to include the process owner as a team member in your project. Please do not forget to include the process owner as a team member in your project, and also make sure the process owner is also made knowledgeable in problem solving. He should also be trained on the Six Sigma body of knowledge, and without which it is impossible to solve a problem. And last but not the least, unstable processes cannot be improved. A live example we all had in this training program itself. There were few people, few participants, posting unwanted messages, creating unwanted noises. They don't have the mindset towards learning. They are not teachable. Unteachable participants cannot be taught. Not only Six Sigma, even any other simple concept, they cannot learn because they are not teachable. Similarly, when you are trying to improve a process in an organization, if the process is not ready for improvement, you really cannot improve. That is why all of you must know a tool, a technique to understand whether the process you are trying to improve is ready for improvement or not. How can you understand that? Right? And there is a very, very beautiful tool called control chart. I already told you control chart is nothing but one of the basic quality control tool. By using the quality control tool, you can easily understand whether your process is ready for improvement or not. You can easily understand whether your process is stable or not. If the process is stable, it is ready for improvement. This is what doctors also do. If unless your body is stable enough, they will not give you any treatment. I have seen several patients, no, waiting for the treatment in the hospital. You know why? Their body conditions are not stable. When the body conditions, your sugar level, your BP level, and certain conditions needs to operate in a normal rhythm. That is why learning normal distribution is important. Even doctors need to learn the normal distribution. In fact, all their decisions are based on normal distribution only. Only when the patient's body condition is following a normal rhythm, what we call it, the body conditions are stable, he will be given the treatment. Without understanding the logic, if you give the treatment, like maybe you are performing an operation, your operation will be successful. But what will happen to the patient? Can he survive? It's a big question mark, right? Don't do that way your project. You have to be doubly sure that your process is stable enough. Your process is statistically in control. That means your process is ready for improvement. If you don't understand whether the process is stable or not, you really cannot improve anything, and all your efforts will go in vain. So these are the 6 main reasons I want to share with all of you. Now I would like to unmute all of you so that all of you can ask me your question, right? On anything I have spoke, and let us interact for some time before I proceed to the next phase, right? And Prabhakar,